How can individual researchers be supported in order to achieve and communicate impact?
I think the first thing is helping people to come up with the right idea. A lot of researchers, when they are fully focused on their research, either find it really difficult to think of how that's going to realise impact, or sometimes they have an idea but they don't know how to take the next step. And there are a lot of bits of the university that can help with that. So, for example, Oxford University Consulting, which is part of ISIS, is able to help if you have an idea where the best impact will come through acting as a consultant to an external organisation. And they have people who can help you sort out the terms on which you want to do the consulting and find the right partners and then organise contracts and things so that you can focus on delivering what you want to do with the external partner, and you don't have to worry about the mechanics of it. And then at the other end, there's a whole team of people in the Public Affairs Division who are focused on communicating the impact of research, and they can help by helping you make a video of what you're doing, or they can help with publicising. And if you've got something that is really going to capture the attention, I mean, like you've made a big breakthrough in our understanding of a major problem in any field, and it's going to capture sort of national news, then they can help you make those contacts as well. And there's also somebody in the public affairs team who can help you if your impact is going to be through changing policy. Margaret Annesley is able to put people in touch with the right policymakers and explain the best way to get a hearing in government and elsewhere. And of course, at the same level as we can help bits of the institution find funding, we can also sometimes help out with funding for individual researchers. And the other thing is that we run a network where people who are involved with knowledge exchange can get together and share ideas and hear from research councils and other external experts. And so we can help in that way. I think if I have time, I'd like to just give a little story of Oliver Cox, who's in the Humanities Division again.
Absolutely, yeah.
Came to us with a really good idea. He works in history and he wanted to work with historical houses and help them to access Oxford research so that they could give their visitors a better experience, because all the artefacts that they have within the house, they can tell the story with the help of Oxford researchers. And he came to us and he said, I've got a whole bunch of people I want to get together to talk about what we can offer them. And I've never run an event like that before, so can you tell me what I ought to do? And my colleague Claire and I said, yes, of course we can. Where do you want to hold it? And he said, oh, I thought I'd hold it at my college at UNIV. And so we said, okay, so do you know how many people you're going to invite? And he said, yes, about 25. And it turned out that actually he knew exactly what he wanted to do. And all we really needed to do was to convince him that it was going to be fine, that the people he was inviting would really enjoy the event. And sure enough, when he held the event, he was absolutely brilliant. The 25 people who were there, almost all said they wanted to be part of his new network. And within 6 months, he'd arranged a whole bunch of internships for some of his doctoral students. And the Thames Valley Houses Partnership has been going from strength to strength ever since then. So that's the level of support that we can give, really.
Great, thank you. Could you please talk to us about the team you're part of?
Yes, I work in the Knowledge Exchange team, which is part of the Central Research Services department, and we describe our job as being people who introduce people to other people. We do all kinds of things, and we come from very different backgrounds. So the team is led by Stuart Wilkinson, who has a background in material science and biomedical engineering. I have a background, my first degree was in history, but I then worked in the not-for-profit sector and the IT industry, so I know about a little bit about being in industry and quite a lot about working with the charity sector. And then my colleague Cleo is an English specialist and works in humanities. We have somebody who is a joint post with the Local Enterprise Partnership, and he specialises in putting together regional projects and helping to access local government funding. And then my colleague Matt is very, very good at running small knowledge exchange funding schemes. And he also knows a lot about the way the university works from an administrative point of view. He's been in university admin for quite a while. And then we also have somebody called Helen Carstairs, who does a lot of our communications work, but has a background in physics, and so does a lot of work with our colleagues up at the Harwell campus. And we, as I said, we run the Knowledge Exchange Network, which tries to connect anybody who's got an interest in knowledge exchange right across the university. We do a lot of work with regional government and external partners. I'm at the moment spending quite a lot of time working with Oxford Brookes University and the Student Hub, supporting students and staff who want to get involved with social enterprise. I also have a responsibility for working with the biological, I always forget what they're called. It's BBSRC, who are the Biosciences Research Council. And they have a very interesting approach to knowledge exchange because they have a set of different funds that you can tap into at different stages of a research project. Some of it is for developing ideas for knowledge exchange at the beginning of a project. Some of it is for doing exchange projects with industry. Some of it is to support people learning about how to do knowledge exchange. And one of the things that I try to do is to point people at the right sort of funding. Apart from that, I've also done some work with the German network, which works with schools, helping them to help people learn German. And I've done some work with Community Classics, which is based up at Cheney School, but I work with the Classics department on that. So one of the key things about our team is that we all do all sorts of different things, and quite often we get involved in new projects because it's not quite obvious who in the university is going to be interested in the project as it starts. And so what we try to do is start things off that may be of interest and then try to find the right people in the university and the right partners outside to make things happen. And once they start happening, we tend to take a step back and let people get on with their own things. But for me, it's probably the most exciting team to be on in the whole of the university. And although I've only been here for 3 years or so, it's been a very good way of understanding how knowledge exchange works in this context.
Right. That's great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm sorry.